I don't know why they put a preacher last. With the bash waiting for us at this point, Ross, I was tempted to come up here without my shoes on. I want to thank Diana Kanakaris for putting my name in for this award. She took a big chance. Yet this award is not just for me. It is for everyone who has influenced me over the past 82 years. I thank God for the remarkable family into which I was born. I'm grateful for the many people who have tried to help me grow up. And that includes the faculty and students of Maryville College from 1942 on. And a special thanks to the class of '56. I'm deeply grateful. Marissa, I should have done this last. Maybe I wouldn't have cried. I'm deeply grateful for my mother and my sisters, Peg and Janet, who did their best to help me grow beyond being a clown. The birth of our two sons, I do have trouble with thanks. John and Tim were a major factor in nudging me to some maturity. And I thank God many times a day for Marilyn, who for over 48 years has put up with my craziness. Even though it's really, really bad theology, Marilyn will quickly tell you that she's earning her way to heaven by being married to me. So thank you, all of you. Thank you, Dr. Bogart, and for the college. I'm not through yet. Do you want me to be through? You know, it was a really interesting exercise to go through my life and pick out the salient points, and I thank Chloe for forcing me to do that. And Chloe, I have no idea where you got half those pictures. There were many events that I left out of my life, but as I went through my history, I was also reminded of the various names that I have acquired along the way. As with most mothers, my mother was quick to yell, "James McClure." Immediately I knew I was in trouble. But if you knew St. Margaret, it was a gentle trouble. Now the first unique name I remember, unique to me by the way, came from Lambi Honecker. Coach Honecker was a football, basketball, baseball coach and athletic director here from 1921 to 1959. I was 7 years old when we moved to Maryville. I was given a golden cocker spaniel which we named Little Miss Muffet. Muffet and I were inseparable except when I was in school. We lived near the campus, and because we did, little Jimmy Cummings and Muffet were on the field for football and baseball practice. We were in the gym for basketball practice. And all too often we got in the way of whatever Coach Honecker was trying to accomplish with his teams. In exasperation, Coach Honecker looked at me and said, "You're the wart on the tail end of progress." Coach Honecker and his sidekick, Coach Davis, called me Wart from then on until I graduated from this great institution. Last year I heard a lot of athletes who called me Wart, but I haven't heard any so far this year. In 1960 I went to Pakistan to teach at Gordon College in Rawalpindi. As was mentioned in the film, I had my Uncle Jim was there, the man for whom I'm named. And so it became a dilemma for the faculty and the staff of how to tell us apart with two Jim Cummingses. Actually, it was quite easy. Uncle Jim is 6'3", and I'm only about 5'10" before my back surgeries. One of the missionaries got the bright idea to call me Short Cummings. That was a name that was joyfully accepted by all the missionaries on the trip. When I went to teach at Maryville High, I somehow got roped into being the tennis coach. It's not my best sport. I started my coaching career by being number 8 on the girls' team. My clumsiness on the tennis court prompted my very respectful students to call me Spaz. For those of you that may not know, it's short for spastic. Now, this nickname was reinforced when I began the wrestling team. For at the end of the first week of that wrestling practice, I had 2 black eyes. Now I had tennis players and wrestlers who called me Spaz. The latest name came from my good wife. I had shingles 4 years ago, and it was on the upper left side of my head. I still get shots of pain and occasionally some irritating itching from that. But the permanent result of that shingles is that from the top of my head to just below my ear, I am numb, which prompted Marilyn to say she's married to a numbskull. So now you have a choice of what to call it. Years ago, when Dr. Gibson asked me to be on the board of church visitors, I discovered a new dynamic in my personality. I've always been conservative and was well aware of that. But as in the church visitors meetings, I kept thinking about the time that I was in the college and wanted to help the college get back to those glory days. That's when I discovered I'm not a conservative, I'm a retrogressive. I wanted things to be the way they were when I was at Maryville. Can you imagine today's students putting up with the restrictions that we had in the early 50s? No cars, chapel at 8 o'clock 5 mornings a week. Dating off campus was only on Tuesday nights. We had dancing for about an hour after supper. Girls had to be in the dorms at 10 o'clock. And then we had to attend Sunday school and either church or Vespers, and there were required Bible courses. Nonetheless, my time here as a student at Maryville College was significant in nudging me towards maturity. And in those church visitor meetings, I was hoping today's students would also have that same experience. It's kind of like the man who fell in a well and got converted. So his way of evangelizing was to push other people into that well. It took me a while to grow out of the need to relapse, but it's still there, and it's still lurking in my background. Almost finished. Then I began meeting the students here at the college. My sisters and I, with our spouses' approval, set up a scholarship in memory of our father, and in honor of our mother, as was mentioned, and now in honor and memory of both. We have had some outstanding scholars who helped broaden my understanding. Then 10 years ago, the class of '56 established their scholarship. And since I'm president of the class, I have the privilege of meeting the recipients of that scholarship. Again, we have had some very exceptional scholars. After meeting alumni like Ross and Marissa, after seeing all the good that Maryville College has imparted to her students across the years, my need to retrogress has greatly diminished. In April, Chloe interviewed me about this award. And one of her last questions was, why do you support the college? In my usual snippy way, I said, Well, because the college needs all the help it can get. When Dr. Tom Bogart and Diana Kanakaris at the table with me, we ended up with some foolishness that allowed me to avoid a serious answer. I have no clue what I would have said if Chloe had pushed me. But tonight I want to very briefly answer that question. Why do I support Maryville College? It comes back to the character of the students that I've gotten to know here. 60 years ago, the student body was a close-knit community that allowed us to develop valued friends. Today, they still have this community, and it is evident in the way the students know and care for each other. I can support that. The college, unlike what we had when I was in school here, the college now pushes her students to become involved in all sorts of off-campus projects. The church and college scholars, the Bonner Scholars, the Bradford Scholars, are just some of the ways today's students give 1,000 hours a week in helping the surrounding community. This shows me that the graduates from here are prepared to help a needy world. I can strongly support that. I could go on, but it's time for me to quit and to let you get to the bash, and my bet is that you all can wholeheartedly support that. So since you're willing to give the alumni citation to a spastic, numbskull, shortcomings wart, I thankfully accept your grace conveyed in this award.